Good morning. Welcome to today's daily journal. I am just going to go live on Facebook and Instagram here. Hope you guys are having a great start of your week. Happy Monday. If you don't know already, my name is Andrew Chau, and this is day 15 of my daily journal, documenting my journey to reach six-figure month my coaching business. I share with you every day my learnings as a coach, an athlete, a business owner, in hopes that you can learn from my mistakes. I went on last night to kind of recap the weekend, and today I really just wanted to expand on one of the thoughts that I've been thinking about for a while, and I think maybe some of you guys might be able to resonate with it. And it's really the notion of like finding meaning and purpose in life. Like what's the meaning of life? Why are we here? Why are you here? Why should you do the things that you do? And yesterday, when we were at the recovery center, Hang and I, we jumped into the ice bath, and to play a game, we started to ask each other some questions. And one of the questions that Hang asked me was, do I believe in life after death? And I think it's a very interesting, a very deep question. I think about it all the time. I think about death all the time. I think about the fragility of life. I think about the limited choices and time that we have on this planet. I think about the fact that I'm going to outlive Crunchy. I think about, just the bittersweet and the beauty of life. And when she asked me, my first thought was, I would like to believe that there is. And I think most people would like to believe that there is. Not all, but most people. Because it means that we have another opportunity. We have something to look forward to. I think a lot of people, when we talk about fear, it's really the fear of dying. Fear of not having another chance. A fear of the end. It's programmed into our DNA, self-preservation. So if you guys say you don't have that fear, it's a lie, because we all do. And Hang and I, we kind of think, ideally, we're going to be together for a long time. But one of us is going to die before the other. And so the idea sounds nice, knowing that we could reunite and meet again in the next life or in the afterlife. But I have a very logical mindset, and I just don't think. Maybe it's a pessimistic mindset. Maybe I don't want to set myself up with that expectation. I think that might be the case. But I don't think that there is life after death. I think once our brain shuts off, our notion of consciousness, it ceased to exist. It has to come from somewhere. There are spiritual people that believe that we have a combined consciousness, like life itself, reality, and how we perceive reality is just based on a shared consciousness, and we're just experiencing reality from our perspective, which, I mean, who am I to say otherwise? I don't have the data to prove or disprove it. I don't believe or not believe it. And I used to think that I was an atheist, where I would probably be closer to be I'm agnostic. I don't believe or disbelieve. I think it's all shades of one truth. I think all religions are shades of one truth. And whether you think there's a God or another being or a species, intergalactic species, I mean, when we look at where all this religion was created thousands of years ago, I mean, what's the difference between an alien and a God? How do you define that? I think what we would consider aliens now would be gods back then. What if it was just aliens from another planet? So I'm not disproving or disbelieving that there is something greater than us. But I also think there's a lot of value in having something that you believe in. And that calibrates your North Star. And I think if, hypothetically, if the notion of religion were to have been man-made and created and fabricated, I would understand the value why. Because if we're not taught to believe that there is life after death, there's either an eternal reward or eternal punishment. I mean, what's stopping people from just killing everyone and then just killing themselves? Because at the end of the day, nothing really matters. Because your life will eventually just not matter. You'll just fade into oblivion. How many people do you really talk about that have died in the past? There have been billions and billions and billions of people that have died in the past, but we don't talk about them. They're forgotten. And I think we fear being forgotten. We fear the end. We fear no longer existing. So I think the idea of having something to work towards makes life not feel as morbid. And it makes you feel like your choices today are being judged, so you should live a good life. That someone is watching, a higher being is watching, and they're judging you, so you should be good. So I definitely see the value in that. But I also think at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Like, have whatever beliefs that you want, that allow you to do the things that you want, that allow you to live the life that you want. You know, when I look at things not from a religious standpoint, when we look at things from an action standpoint, if you want to start a business, you want to work on your personal development, you want to work on your fitness, you want to progress in your career, your beliefs governs your actions. There are these beliefs, whether you can do it or you don't, but it's what you believe. And if you don't believe that it is possible, you're not going to do it. So I think whatever allows you to have the beliefs that you want, I think it's very meaningful. You know, and I think I've just created my own beliefs. I just understand from a logical standpoint that other people have been able to succeed, so I can succeed. And that's that. The chance of success is 100% certain, and I just need to wait long enough. And the analogy I use is like the heads or tails. You know, if I can flip a coin, it could be heads or it can be tails. I can guess heads, I can be wrong. Guess heads again, I can be wrong. I can be wrong 10 times in a row. Unlikely, but I can be wrong 50 times in a row. But eventually, it's going to be tails. And I'm just banking on that. And that's how I see things from not a religious standpoint, from a belief standpoint. And I think about all the things that I could do on my journey to progression, or the people that I could help. And I just choose to create this belief in my mind that there is a greater purpose out there for me. That for me to succeed, I can help other people. These are the beliefs that I have created, and it starts to reinforce in my mind each and every single day. But if you guys don't have your purpose, or you don't know what it is, you have to go out and search for it. You have to go out and throw shit at the wall, see what sticks. Because for you to be successful in everything or in life, you have to be able to provide value to those around you. So you need to be good at something. So how do you be good at something if you don't actually try? And people think that you have to find your passion first and then you go out and do the thing. I used to think that. Find what you enjoy and go out and do it. But the thing is, if you're not expanding your mind, trying different things, well, you're not going to be very good at anything. It's hard for anyone to be motivated or consistent if they're not good at what they're doing. And so you're not going to be able to find a passion because you're shit at everything. You need to go out and put in the work up front to explore and find skills. And even if you find your passion, it's not like once you find it, every day is going to be easy. Everything is hard. I would say everything is equally hard. All industries, all fields, they're equally hard in its own domain. But when you find something that you've committed to and you can see that you can be good at, and you've been able to provide value to other people, people have been able to see value in you, you feel like you start to generate a bit of purpose. For example, you might find a product and you start to build a product that solves a problem. It might be, I don't know, a gardening hose of some kind. You've innovated and you've solved the problem that gardeners have, and you're really passionate about gardening because when you didn't have a job, you were just at home doing the thing you can do, which is gardening. You start to become really good at it. Your neighbors start to compliment it. Everyone that walks by sees you have a nice garden, and as you start to garden, you start to encounter a problem, and then you thought of a solution that could solve the problem, then you designed that product. And now, once you start to create that product, people start to see value in it. They're like, hey, that product is really good. It's really helped me. And now you get people telling you, oh, I've never gardened before until I started using this product, and now I love it. And now you start to feel like you have this purpose of being able to help other people. It might seem small. It's not like something you think about when you're 5 years old. When I grow up, I want to be able to help people garden. Sometimes it just falls onto your lap. It's just something that you just happen to be good at based on your experiences, based on the lessons that you've had, based on where you are in your life, based on the tools, the knowledge, everything that you have at that exact point in time. And then as it starts to, like the cycle starts to perpetuate, you start to do better, then you start to get more recognition, and that motivates you to do better. And now you feel like you have a calling in life. And now you know how to run a business. And now you use the tools, how to run a business, to help other people run a business. So you might start a coaching. You might help other, B2B salespeople. You might help, all the tools you learn along the way. And now you have a greater purpose. Now you feel like you're here to help other people live their dreams, be able to turn someone's passion into profit, turn their hobbies into financial freedom. And then it starts to snowball, and then you have this greater purpose. Now, were you destined for that? Does it matter? Was it written into some stone, or did a higher being paint this roadmap for you? And I think like in all ways that you think, there's going to be some limitations. Like if I believe that there is a God, that he has this life prepared for me, well, that means that I don't have a choice, right? It means that all my choices have been decided for me. So do you want to think like that? I don't know. When you look at in terms of like science, I believe that our past, present, and future is all one instantaneous event. And as humans, we're just experiencing reality 1 second at a time. So in a sense, our future is already set. That's my true belief. But I don't think about that every single day. And I think I don't need to work hard towards my goals because my future is already set. I just have one belief that the universe has already existed, and I'm just experiencing life 1 second at a time. But I'm also choosing to adopt a belief on the micro every single day that I can change my future. And so it doesn't really matter. I believe and I don't believe at the same time. I'm super extremely open-minded about it because I just don't know. But what I can do is I can control. I feel like I can control my actions. I had a conversation with a friend. These are the type of conversations I used to have when we were high. Well, we had this not high a few weeks ago about like whether free choice is real, whether we actually have free choice. I believe the ultimate answer is that we don't have free choice, but I still like to believe that I have a choice, and I act like I have a choice every single day. That allows me to get through every single day. And so really it doesn't matter. None of this stuff really matters. You make the most of the life that you have, and you find the meaning in any way that makes sense to you. And it doesn't matter what someone else believes, whether it's different to what you believe. You find meaning and purpose in your own life. That allows you to move forward. That allows you to look forward to life. So if you want to think that your future is already set, that there is a calling for you, a high being has set this path for you, and you just got to go out and do it, then do it. Because you have this belief that you will succeed, that there is this pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And now your mind will actually find evidence to support that hypothesis. And you can make it a reality. You can manifest it into reality. And so for that particular person who has achieved success, they're like, oh, it's because of God. It's because of Jesus. It's because of whatever that I've been able to succeed. Then absolutely. Well, that belief allowed you to succeed. So great. And you might not believe in God. You might not believe in religion. You believe in free will, that everything you do can, you have free control of what you do. Then great. Have that belief. And so I think just to break things down, we live in a world where we rely on each other. And when you think about success, your success can mean different things for anyone, right? And I think it's about finding a balance of doing the things that you somewhat enjoy, but also being rewarded so that you can live life without limitations. And I think that will be success. And I think how much of each you need is to each individual component. I think that the ingredients of success is being able to do what you want and doing, and enjoying what you do. So how did I find this passion? Well, I had to start to find it. I've always been into fitness since I was young, and that was ingrained into my childhood. I grew up with Rocky, what is it, like the Terminator, like all these big guys where your heroes were considered like big and jacked. And my dad was very athletic, very fit. And so I've kind of, those values were ingrained into my mind. And so as I grew up and I was old enough to train, that's what I knew I wanted to aspire to be like. I didn't know where that was going to lead me, but I was very inconsistent. I grew up overweight. I felt like I had a slow metabolism. My brother was always skinny. He's always bullied and teased me. I was bullied and teased in school as well. I was never able to actually get lean until I got into fitness and I learned how I can diet. I tried every crash diet under the sun, keto, intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day, a combination of all of them. I still didn't get the results. I gave up for a few months, few years, back and forth. And then when I was like 25, when I met Hang, I figured like after all these years, after 10 years, I'm still interested in fitness. Like I still want to have a good physique. I don't like the idea of having a dad bod. And so I figured, well, if I'm ever going to achieve something in my life, I have to be able to tick off the goal I've always had. And that's something that I enjoyed. I didn't get the good results, but I enjoyed, the process of improving your body by lifting things up and putting things down, like manipulating what your body looks like. And so I went and I pursued that to the best of my ability. And I said, look, this time I'm going to do it properly. I'm going to leave no stone unturned. And along the way, there were a lot of hurdles, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of things that held me back. But I persevered and I pushed through, and especially during lockdown as well. That was one of the most difficult periods. I invested every dollar that I had to build a gym equipment at home. And as I was doing that, I still didn't know where my life was going to lead. But I just wanted to document the process. I love making videos. I just thought I want to be able to capture these memories, these moments, so we can look back. So I combined the two things that I enjoyed, and I continued to push forward. Then I started to get recognized for it. Some people start to see value in the content I created, or the value in the information that I provided, or how I was creating the videos. And then that started to perpetuate, okay, maybe I'm good at this. Maybe I could do this. I was actually able to persevere to the end of the line of my fears. Maybe I could do it in other things. And it started to build forward. And every single day, I started to build more belief in myself that I could succeed. And one thing led to another. It just started to snowball. And when I was younger, I think it was 2009. My parents went to Vietnam, and they're somewhat superstitious, and they went to like a fortune teller, and this fortune teller wrote a book, like a 30-page book, really in depth about my entire life. And when my parents was Vietnamese, I don't know how to read Vietnamese very fluently, so as my parents were reading it to me, a lot of it didn't make sense to me. Because, it predicted my life all the way up until the day that I die. And at that time, I was only 16. So there wasn't much of my life that has happened. And so I didn't really think too much about what was in the book. But one of the things that was in the book was a quote that said, when I speak, 100 people will listen. And I think that was interpreted by my parents and myself, that one day I'd be a business owner. And then from that point on, I think deep down, I kind of knew that I was destined for more, that I was going to be a business owner. And whether that's a self-fulfilling prophecy or because I heard that, it influenced my decision, I don't know. But somewhere along the way, I eventually became a business owner. And as 2 years ago, Hang and I, we actually read that book again with my parents, and everything up until that point has been right to 99% accuracy. And so you can choose to believe this book was able to predict my future, or I was able to manifest what was in that book. It doesn't matter. I choose to believe that what I read in the book is real, because I like what I read in the book. I like what I hear. And if I have the belief that maybe there's a possibility that this could be true, because if you think about, all cultures have like horoscopes or zodiacs, and it's based on our constellation. What if there's something that we actually just don't know? How are these cultures able to predict these things with so much similarities? And most people might not believe, and that's fine. But I'm just open to the idea that they could be. I go from uncertainty to possibility. And if I were to look at this book and like, okay, maybe if it is, now I'm more likely to carry out my actions because I'm like, well, there is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow waiting for me. Or I can choose to believe that because these are the things I've read and I'm able to manifest, I think they're both equally just as impressive. And so I think the belief doesn't actually matter. I think what matters is what you make of it, the meaning that you create in your life. I don't think you'll ever have a definitive answer what the meaning of life is. I genuinely think that the whole notion of life just happened based on sheer luck, and we've created this conscious mind to kind of make sense of these decisions. It's just part of evolution so that we're not making the same decisions over and over again. But I'm also open to the idea that maybe there was, some kind of divine intervention that allowed us to develop this conscious mind. It doesn't matter. This is the life that we live in today. And I think our journey in life is to find purpose in our own personal life. Not a purpose that has been set for us or what you feel like life should be about. It's about finding your own purpose. So that when the day that you die, I like to believe that when you die, that there is no life after death, because I want to feel like this is my one and only chance, and I have to make the most of every single opportunity. I don't have a second chance. And when I die, I'm either going to, just the split second moment just before I die, I will have an evaluation of what my life was worth, whether I lived life with regrets or no regrets. And a few years ago, a movie came on Netflix called Don't Look Up, with Leonardo DiCaprio. And after I watched the movie, unconsciously, it was probably in my mind, I had a dream a few nights after that, and it was like the end of the world. And I don't remember the full context of how the world was ending. I was just in a house, a building, and I was just like lava outside, like just looking outside, and it's just lava. And at that point in time, I'm like, well, I'm about to face death. But I didn't feel like I had any regrets, and I didn't feel like I was very scared in that dream. And I actually just jumped in just to get it over and done with. I accepted death in that dream. Now, of course, our minds are very different when we're dreaming. But as I woke up, that thought kind of stuck with me. And I just thought, like, if I were to die today, I honestly wouldn't have any regrets. I feel like there's things that I would have changed, obviously, when I was younger, things that I but things I wish I would have done differently if I had known. But I don't think I regret anything. It's got me to where I am today. And I think I've done the best I can to undo all the wrongs I've done and to be the person I want every day. Do I meet my benchmark every single day? No. But I still try to be better every single day. And I think a lot of people say these things. I hear it so many times, but I just don't see it. People are stuck in the exact same spot. They just like to regurgitate these quotes that they hear from people. And I talk to people in the messages, and they tell me about the fitness goal, and they were like, yeah, I've been trying to lose weight slowly but surely. Like, how long have you been doing that for? Like 2 years. It's like, well, you're not really trying. Well, that's the truth. You're just not trying. You just don't want it bad enough. And you're not actually improving day in, day out. They mistake slow progress with no progress. And I think if they were to die, they would have a lot of regrets. They will have a lot of unmade decisions, a lot of things that they didn't do, and opportunities that they didn't take. And every day I try to reevaluate my life to make sure I don't feel that way. So even though I'm not where I want to be, even if I were to die, I don't feel like I have any regrets. I think I'll be very happy to accept death if that were to be my time. That's the way I've always thought about things. I think that's what helps with my anxiety as well. So I don't have anxiety. I just think about, well, if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. I can't control it. If a plane decides to crash into this house today and just kill me, then so be it. But we can't change that. Doesn't matter how careful or cautious or how proactive you are with your health, you just can't change when it's your time to go. You can be the safest driver on the road, but you can have some maniac that just T-bones you and just wipes you out. Possibility. But I think our job is to make sure we live every single day as if it were to be our last, and to make the most of the times that we have with each other, because your family and friends that you have around you are going to die. It's a very morbid mindset to have, but they are going to die. And rather than being upset about it, you should be thinking about, how do I live my best life every single day? And I think about, if any of my loved ones were to die, I'd want them to see me succeed so that they know that they can rest easy rather than having to worry. That's just my kind of mindset on it. But yeah, I just kind of thought I'd share with you, how I find my purpose and meaning. I feel that there is a greater purpose for me. And I think that we feel this way unconsciously through our experiences. Maybe there might be times in our past where we have shown and proven to ourselves that we have talent or value to be able to provide the world. And maybe we have certain traits and attributes that prevent us from being able to live up to that dream. And so we feel like we have an unfulfilled dream, an unfulfilled potential, an unfulfilled destiny. And I don't want to live my life thinking like that. I want to live my life thinking like I went all out all the time, every single day. And by the time that I died, I'm like, I gave it my all. That's it. If you were to run a marathon, think about this for a second. If you were to run a marathon and you gave it your absolute all, and then for whatever reason, both your ankles just snapped halfway, I don't think you'd be upset. I think, or of course you're not able to walk, but I don't think you'd be upset with your performance because you did everything that you could. Now, hypothetically, if you ran the marathon and you just gave up at 90%, even though you technically went further, you still look back to the notion that you gave up. You could have finished it, and by choice, you didn't. So that's some food for thought. You guys might see it differently. I'm interested to know what you guys might think, but that's just how I kind of process these things. And it helps guide me through what I need to do every single day. I think about my life as a living creature is to reproduce, like with all animals. And I want to give my offspring the best opportunities and bestow upon them all the lessons of a previous generation. And that's it. That's, to put simply, that is my view on life, is to just reproduce and help the human race. And how I help the human race is playing my part in creating offspring that learns from my lessons. I share my values to anyone that wants to learn. I share my mistakes so that we can all improve, because all the things and the opportunities that we have today are from our predecessors who were able to learn before us. The access to information that we have is compounded through decades and generations and centuries of learnings and experiences. All the wars that we've been through for us to have the peace that we have today, however long that's going to last. The technology that we have is compounding of, technology wasn't created in one generation. Technology has been created over multiple generations. And the technology that will be created is compounding of the work that's done today. That's how I like to think. I'm a small cog in a big machine, and it's extremely humbling to realize how unspecial that I am. But that doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's it. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on your outlook in life. Like, what gets you through the day? What gets you pushing forward? What do you think about? What's your North Star? See you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow for day 16 of the Daily Journal. Peace.